What is going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, and I am back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today, we are here to officially showcase Gol D, one of the craziest SugoFest exclusives, or should I say Super SugoFest exclusives coming to the game. This character's a beast. Everyone's summoning for him. If you did get him, you're over the moon. If you haven't got him, I really hope you can get him very soon, because this character, as you guys are going to see in this video, he is phenomenal in every facet. He is just way too good. Easily tier 0. There is no way this character on release is not tier 0. In every way, he is probably one of the best characters in the game. Even on JP standards, with all of their crazy legends that they have, Gol D is easily one of the best in the game. And even in Rumble as well, which you guys hopefully would have seen in my on my YouTube channel before as well. In Rumble, man, he's really good. But let's talk about this character first, and then we'll get into the actual showcase of this character. So Gol D is a Psi Free Spirit Slasher. His captain effect is going to state he nullifies the effects of remove beneficial effects and remove accumulated value once per quest. That particular sentence right there of his captain effect, very first character in the game that can do that, and it is very good, as you guys are going to see in this video today. He is also a 4.5 Rainbow Attack Boosting Captain, a Rainbow 1.3 HP Boosting Captain, and also removes the crew's Despair completely. And then when you use his special titled Divine Departure, for the next 3 turns, he's going to be a 5 times Captain instead. Yeah, this guy is a beast. What a captain effect, dude. He does have a super type special, right? It does require you to have very specific units on your team, but the really cool thing about it is there are very powerful units that he can use to proc that super type. And when you are able to proc it, it will give all characters on your crew a matching slot that goes through block orbs, and he locks your orbs for 1 turn. This is, again, just one of the best super type specials in the game. A lot of people complaining, you know, oh, it just gives you matching orbs and that's it. But dude, no joke, this is one of the best in the game, and it works exceptionally well with the brand new Kozuki Oden. You guys are going to see in this video how good the combo is. And then his special ability, 13 turn cooldown. I do have mine actually, Limit Break Plus, but his special ability deals 1 million fixed damage through everything, even through normal attacks only. It's guaranteed 1 million damage to all enemies. And then he is a Rainbow Attack Booster, depending on how much damage your crew has dealt. Now, I thought it was only from Roger's normal attacks, but I've been disproven. It actually is just your crew's attack. So this is very easy. You only have to reach 3 million damage in order to get your 3 times attack boost, which is not hard at all. And because it is a accumulated value, anytime your enemy tries to remove it, his captain effect can resist it. So lots of really good things here. So basically a 3 times attack boost. And then if he is the captain, he extends the duration of any orb boost that you have. So again, that's pretty nice. Works very well with Kozuki Oden, as you guys are going to see in this video. Now, as for his crewmate abilities, he boosts all character stats by 100 and also makes all of his own type slots count as matching, but we're not going to be using him as a sub in this video. Now, as for his potential abilities, the really key one here is his critical hit, which is a guaranteed 10% attack every time he hits a perfect. Adding that on top of it is absurd. He does have Slotbind and the Enrage buff as well, but they're not like the super perfect ones. And then his support effect attaches to any unit in the game and gives them 11% stats. So you should definitely go out of your way to max it, because he's the only Roger character in the game. He can attach to any unit in the game, so he basically will be used as a support on any team that you have, or if you're not using him as a support, you're going to have him on your crew, most likely. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the showcase video of Gol D. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the showcase video now. I actually will be having a showcase for Kozuki Oden as well as Gol D, both of which are going to be showcased against the exact same pieces of content, just to show you guys how both of which are able to do it in different ways. So first of all, the first clip here is against Coliseum Gyukimaru. Coliseum Gyukimaru obviously being the current Coliseum here on Global. Actually, very soon, in the next couple days, we should be getting Coliseum Orochi, which of course I'm going to be having a Gol D team against that as well. Coliseum Orochi, for those who don't know, was the Coliseum that released alongside V3 Boa. So, if you have V3 Boa or Roger, it's not going to be too difficult considering of type advantage and all that. But here we are against Coliseum Gyukimaru. Now, of course, one of the things with Gyukimaru is that you're not allowed to use an orb boost on the final stage. So we actually go ahead and use Trafalgar Law V3 to use his orb boost, and then we use Roger to extend that orb boost so we can use it in the final turn. It's kind of interesting, actually, because I was wanting to use Oden here as a sub, but of course, there is a barrier on the final stage where you need to have a Dex slot. So in order to make that a bit easier, I decided to use Law instead of Oden. because obviously if you have a Wano slot, that does not count as a Dex Orb, obviously, so you need some sort of way to have a Dex Orb, and we have Corazon on the team who's able to remove the bind and paralysis when we reach the final stage, and we also have access to Shank's crew as well, who's going to give us a really, really nice chain lock. We've got the free-to-play Kuma as well that came out during earlier on in the month, or at the end of November, which is a really good free-to-play unit that helps you clear this Coliseum, and as well as giving your 40 cost or less character some color affinity, but it doesn't really matter, you're just using him for the utility boost and all of that, and that's it's really straightforward, honestly. You know, despite the fact that we've only got 2 characters on our team that actually have type advantage against Gyukimaru, and even though one of our characters is actually dedicated to just breaking the barrier, we still have enough damage output to just kill off this guy, which is, it's super impressive. So even just against the most recent Coliseum with Gyukimaru, Roger just absolutely decimates it. But we actually will be having various different clips in this video today, but I'll leave you guys with the rest of this Coliseum clip. Our next clip here is against Raid Bonney. Raid Bonney is actually one of the better Clash event characters in the game. Really, really useful special ability that's going to help you in a lot of pieces of content. And it's actually, again, pretty straightforward once again. And one thing you're going to see that's quite common when we're using Gol D Roger as a captain is we have access to Kozuki Odin as a sub. Just the combination between the two is unheard of. It is so strong just to have a guaranteed full board of Wano slots. The enemy cannot manipulate them. And the Wano slots, of course, are the best damaging orbs that you can have on your team. It is exceptional, honestly. It just is. There's nothing that the enemy can do about the slots, unless if they slot bind you, but Kozuki Odin can actually get rid of the slot bind on himself. Roger gets rid of 10 turns of it with his when it's completely rainbowed out. But honestly, you know, one of the things that I have found to be semi-challenging, you know, if you are in a situation where you are not using Kozuki Odin, it actually is kind of difficult to proc the super type special of Roger, because you need an Odin character, Rayleigh, so there aren't like too many top tier Rayleighs in the game. You could potentially use V2 Rayleigh with his 6+ is actually not too bad, or even Raid Rayleigh if you want him for some reason. You could use V1 Rayleigh for utility. You know, Whitebeard, there's not really too many Whitebeards in the game that just outright work with this Roger, unfortunately, like Quickbeard doesn't. You could use Whitebeard and Marco technically. Crocus, the new recruit Crocus is good. Now for Shanks, you could use Shanks crew. That's definitely one of the better units that you could use for Roger to proc his super type special, which is great. You could also use Buggy, and there aren't many good buggies in the game either. You could use Dogstorm or Cat Viper, and also Portgaz D Ace, but again, there aren't really too many good Ace characters in the game that actually just outright work with Gold Roger, which is one of the really bad things about it. We're up here now against a brand new Coliseum, against Coliseum Komurasaki. This was actually a relatively difficult one to kind of build a team around, because the final stage just has so many different debuffs that you have to take into consideration, and also the Robin on stage 4 is really challenging to get through as well. But this is where like the effect of Gold Roger is super useful, right? Because any type of effect that you use, whether it be an attack or an orb boost, the Robin actually resists it, and she also will go ahead and paralyze you. But, you know, even though we don't do that in this case here, you know, we can just go ahead and use a special, and even if the enemy, you know, reacts to it and removes it, you can just resist it with Roger, and you guys will be seeing in another piece of content later on how useful that actually is, right? So with Gold Roger as well, I've just found him so easy to build teams with. Essentially is, you know, you just run Kozuki Odin as a sub, Roger as your captain, and that really gets you through most content. Or you could use Shanks crew as a sub with Roger captain. Even just that, well, it gets you through a lot of content, right? Because of all of the effects that you have active, you know, when you just have either Shanks crew or Odin as a sub under Roger, the rest of your team can pretty much be dedicated to utility boost and getting around the enemy debuffs. So that's one of the really cool things about Roger, is that he's very easy to build with, and, you know, the fact that Roger himself is his crew's own attack booster as well, and he can also be used to, you know, dedicate the full board of orbs to your team as well, which means you don't really need to worry about orb manipulation that much when you're using Roger. Like, there's so many good things about this unit, and makes him so easy to use. Like, if you're re-rolling right now to get your hands on Gold Roger, like, yeah, he is the best character to re-roll for in the game, hands down. Like, you know, you want to re-roll for Snake Man or Luffy Law, I mean, that's fine, but this is the easiest character to use in the game. Now, of course, it is kind of restricted in the fact that you need to have, you know, a certain character on your team in order to use the super type special, but if you do get that other dedicated character, like, you know, Roger and Odin, or Roger and Shanks' crew, even just that alone is going to be more than enough to get you through a lot of content, right? It's so powerful, right? And also something to note here is that the enemy does have a resilience buff, and I wasn't really too sure how I really wanted to get around that. I could have potentially just used a Shanks' crew friend captain, but I wanted to use double Roger, and in order to do that, we are using the Don Krieg ship, which is the Dreadnought Saber. And if you guys don't know, you can't really get the ship anymore. It was only available on story mode missions. I think it'll come back to the game very soon, but essentially what it is it does damage at the end of each turn, like 5,000 damage or something like that. So it doesn't give your crew any attack boost. But when we get, you know, what's his name? Kiyoshiro back to 1 HP, the ship is just going to kill him off, which is great. But of course, if you use Shanks' crew as a friend captain, his captain effect and their dual form have that end of turn damage effect depending on how many perfects you hit, so obviously that works as well. But as I said, I wanted to go ahead and use double Roger, and we're able to do so, which is extremely satisfying. I also think it's kind of interesting that they decided to make this character a super type unit. Like, it's kind of weird, you know, you would have thought that maybe it would have been like a captain action, but no, they just decided to, you know, make it a super type special. But the way that Roger is built, it's like, it doesn't even matter, you know, you don't really need to be bringing side characters in order for them to get the enhanced color affinity from being super type. It's just an additional special effect that this character has that just so happens to work with all characters in the game. And that's one thing that I actually really like about this unit is, like, yeah, he's a super type character, but you don't really play him as a typical super type character. Though you can, you can just build a full side team and just completely dominate any int content that you want, but you don't have to run it that way. He is essentially just a rainbow unit with like 2 specials pretty much. It's pretty crazy some of the stuff that you're able to do with this guy. Speaking of crazy stuff, here is against Raid Crocodile, one of the more difficult raids in the game, and I think many people would agree that, yeah, this Clash Crocodile is arguably one of the most difficult ones in the game, and we are able to get through it pretty comfortably, actually. We do have the ability of this Perona, who is a really good damage reducer, but the interesting thing here is that we actually don't use Roger's special at all throughout this fight against Crocodile. We just don't need it. It's pretty awesome. And there's the cut-in effect. I love the cut-in effect of every time you resist the effect of the enemy, you know, removing your beneficial effects or your accumulated values, there is like a special cut-in animation you guys just saw with Roger. It is so freaking cool that they went out of their way to do that. I love the little polish that they add on the character. It's so cool. But you know, the fact that this Crocodile raid has the end of turn damage, it does a lot, and you've got increased damage taken. There's just lots of annoying effects going on here, but we don't even need the attack boost from Roger in order to get through this content. All we have is the super type special to give us the full board of orbs. We have Odin to give us the Wano slots and the orb boost, and it's just GG at that point. It's pretty awesome, dude. I love it, dude. This character is so much fun, and I fail to see how this character is going to be bad for like the next 6 months. Like, easily, at least for the next, you know, 6+ months, this character is going to be tier 0, no doubt. There is nothing that I can see coming out in the next 6 months that is going to make this character quote-unquote bad. Like, this guy's going to be good for a really long time, and I think Odin is going to be the same as well, though I think Odin is going to be better as a sub longer compared to Roger, because of Wano slots being as broken as what they are. But that being said, you know, you can't disregard anything about these characters. Roger and Odin both are phenomenal units that are going to see play for a very long time, right? And here is the final clip of the video against Coliseum Brook. Now, when Coliseum Brook came out, it was so difficult. Like, it was absurdly difficult considering the unit that you get out of it. Like, the ratio of difficulty to unit quality was so off with this content, because Brook is not a good unit at all, and they made this piece of content very hard to beat. Essentially, you had to have like all of the V2 slasher batch with V2 Mihawk, V2 Zoro to basically make it easy. And you know, even with all of that being said, this was also very easy to beat with Gol D, Roger, Kozuki, Odin, and the rest of the characters on our team here, which is great. And the special animation, I must say, they went above and beyond for the special animation of Gol D, Roger. It looks so good. Oh man, I love this character so much. He probably is my favorite character in the game right now. I mean, V3 Law's still up there with being one of my favorite Sugo Fest exclusives in the game, but I mean, Roger's getting up there very quickly, that is for sure. But with all that being said, guys, I'm going to leave you guys with the rest of this clip against Coliseum Brook. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll be uploading my showcase to Kozuki Odin very soon as well, so stay tuned to the channel for that. And also, there will be a tier list video going up sometime tomorrow, so make sure to look out for that. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
解。ここだな。
君たちに怪我させ。
また無茶しても俺の番だ。
行くぜ。やるか。
巨人空手。
あっちは任せろ。
俺の番だ。
行くぞ。やるか。行くぜ。
太郎君。
もらっていいよな。宣戦布告ですね。天竜人へ。